Alrighty, hello Bingo fans, and welcome to yet another Super Mario Odyssey Bingo match. Today we have anti-bingo between King Video Gamer and FlavienSMO. Both of these runners are very respected in the community. King Video Gamer and Flavien both sporting pretty good any percent times, I think around 102, 101-ish, so that's definitely good. I think both of them have dabbled a bit in bingo. King Video Gamer participated in the previous tournament, but I'm not really sure how much bingo he's played since. And while this is Flavien's first tournament, I know that he's done a little bit of bingo here and there. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. I definitely think this is going to be one of those matches where it's going to be completely dependent on what line they end up picking, because I really don't see too much difference in their overall skill level between bingo and whatnot. So it's really just going to come down to who's going to pick the more volatile line on the card. And it looks like they have their picks, so it looks like King Video Gamer is forced to do C1, and Flavien is forced to do C3. Very, very interesting. So, when I'm looking at this card, the first thing that comes to mind is, the fact that there's 225 total regional goal on the diagonal. That's pretty nasty. But also the fact that there really isn't like a forced Snow Seaside here. So already King Video Gamer being forced to do C1 kind of gives him an advantage, because there's definitely more than enough lines to, work with that don't go all the way to Snow or Seaside. So with that in mind, that's already a huge L against Flavien, in my personal opinion. However, there's also synergy to consider. However, KVG's line is looking pretty solid. Not gonna lie, like 4 moons from sub-areas cap, the 6 moons from moon shards, that's almost perfect. 6 timers, like, he can get a timer and cap as well. So there's definitely a lot to, go with that. However, if he does want to finish really early, he might have to do the 225. Maybe. I mean, he's not forced to do the 225. He could go to Kumbo Picture Match. That might be what we see here, honestly. Because if you're doing 12 loss, like 225 versus Picture Match, I feel like Picture Match is going to win out there. I feel like from KVG, we'll see something along the lines of C1, row 3, row 5. And for Flavien's line, this is a bit trickier, because Flavien has a lot more stuff to do. He has a very heavy sand, and he has to go to Seaside for 25 regionals. So, with that in mind, I think we're going to see Flavien pick 2 lines that are going to allow him to basically blitz the other kingdoms that are not sand. So, there's definitely a lot to consider and think about here. But I think looking at this card, Flavien's going to want to avoid the moon shards, the 225. So I think we'll probably see... I was going to say row 2, but that does give a revisit for Flavien. So maybe C5 and row 3? That's pretty desperate. I think Flavien's in trouble. Yeah, KVG definitely has the less volatile line to work with here. Like I said before, on a card with forced Snow Seaside, maybe KVG's line would have made sense, but this is not forced Snow Seaside, so I really do not really see the justification around Flavien picking C1 for KVG. But with that in mind, we will see Flavien be going for these sub-areas in Cascade because he's forced to. Again, that's why the 16 Cascade isn't even that bad at that point, because for 16 Cascade first visit route, you would do those sub-areas anyway. So I can definitely see row 3 being in Flavien's overall route. I did not see either runner collect a life up. Ooh, KVG taking this route. Maybe for an 8-bit? It's a bit of a peculiar thing to go for this early, but I suppose. Maybe. Maybe it makes sense. So, does that mean KVG's looking at this diagonal with the 225? Maybe. Again, he could avoid the 225 if he opts to go to picture match. So, yeah, it looks like KVG collected the cap life apart as well, because he already had the 6 units of health. So KVG already sporting 2 life aparts towards his 6 total. Definitely trying to get them out of the way early, maybe, or just going with the ones that he knows are going to be quick and not too far out of the way on his route. 6 unique life aparts to Lost/Cloud Revisit is pretty, I wouldn't say tight, but it's definitely a lot tighter if you're not doing Sand Piece, because then you're locked out of the Pyramid one and the Sand Underground. You're not necessarily locked out of them, but you have less incentive to go there. Ooh, Flavien taking a bonk. Also in the Chomp sub-area. This is not exactly the first choice sub-area for Cascade, but it's actually the slowest of the 3. But I guess if you're comfortable enough with it, it could be good. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just billiards. Ooh, not quite getting it. There it is. So, yeah, if anyone in chat has any questions regarding anything bingo related, I am definitely your guy. I can definitely give you some info regarding anything bingo related, pretty much. So KVG not actually leaving Cascade immediately. Is he also going for this 16? Or, you know, is he going for the 16? I don't know if Flavien's going for it yet. He likely is, based off of his moon count. Yeah, it looks like both of these runners are going to be going for the 16. KVG has picked up a few regionals, but definitely not enough if he's going for this 225 by Loss. It is a lot of regionals, and there is not a lot of synergy for regionals on KVG's route, so definitely going to need to pick up the pace on those. Flavien's sporting a very nice Rocky Rumble trick jump, saving 7 seconds. Unfortunately hitting the Koopa Shell the wrong way, though, so that's definitely going to lose a little bit of time. But overall, the execution there was pretty good. KVG collecting some more purple coins, entering the Dino Room. Okay. So are they both doing this 4 moons from sub-areas total? Cascade? I mean, it is in the center of the board, so I would not put it past them to do it. Yeah, so it looks like both of these runners are indeed looking at both the sub-area goal and the 16 moons from Cascade. Alrighty. So, Flavien actually using the checkpoint to warp. I suppose that makes sense. Flavien actually leaving, not going for the 16. Alright, that's interesting. I wasn't really expecting that. I was definitely expecting the 16. Maybe they plan to revisit? I'm not really sure how they can realistically plan that revisit, though, so I guess they are not doing row 3. So if it's not row 3, what could their lines be? Could we be looking at row 5? Row 5 is really easy. It just has the Goomba picture match revisit. That's the only issue with row 5. And the thing is, Flavien needs to do 32 moons from Sand. That's going to take a lot of time. Like, a lot of time. To put it into perspective, a top-level bingo runner probably does 32 Sand in about 11.5 minutes, maybe closer to 12 minutes if they're collecting a few extra goodies. So, if a top-level bingo player is doing 32 Sand in around 12 minutes, someone with a little bit less experience and less routing knowledge of 32 moons is probably going to take closer to 14, 15 minutes. So Flavien is going to be in Sand for a very long time. And being forced to go to Seaside is going to make it so Flavien's really going to need to pick up the pace for the rest of his bingo run. Which, again, leads me to believe that Flavien will be going for lines that allow him to just any percent, or at least do things relatively fast for the rest of the run. So I can definitely see row 5 being potentially a play because of that. Because row 5 doesn't have anything that immediately says, hey, this is going to take a lot of time. Ooh, taking some nasty bonks on the cactus and the wall with the seed, yeah. That's kind of yikes. KVG's still collecting these regionals, though. Definitely want to make sure that he gets all of them. And he still has one more sub-area to do, so... KVG really taking his time on this, cascade. Alright, so... Flavien now in Sand, actually collecting regionals. Are we seeing 225 from Flavien? Would not like that. Is there a Sand regional goal that I miss? On the card? Anywhere? Please? Oh god, I really hope he's not doing Sand regionals. That would be gross. Like, I really hope he's not doing 225. That would be really bad. Because, again, Flavien already has to go to Seaside. KVG does not. So, that's the big advantage here for KVG. KVG does need to do more in each of these kingdoms. However, because he doesn't have to go to Seaside, definitely going to have the advantage. However, struggling to get up onto this upper layer in this sub-area. Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating. Taking the pipe to get here, I guess just doesn't want to risk dying at the very end. There's definitely some cool things that can happen with the camera at the very end of the sub-area if you decide not to take the pipe. So, I guess I can understand the play from a safety perspective, however, that is definitely slow. So it looks like KVG is about done here, just going to pick up a few more regional coins in the Cascade Kingdom. Looks like he is leaving with 50, so he did get all of them. Alright. So he got all of the regionals in Cascade, plus 16 moons. So, that's definitely something to keep in mind. Flavien, again, needs to go for 32, so he's basically collecting every moon he can think of in the Sand Kingdom. Dying! Dying in the flowing sands! Flavien, no! That's not good. You know, I haven't seen a death like that in a while. That's rare. That is a rare mistake. So, I don't think KVG is going to be looking for anything too specific in the Sand Kingdom. Actually, no, I lied. He needs to do the 6 moons from Moon Shards, which means he's doing Moon Shards in the Sand. So, with that in mind, we're definitely going to see KVG do a bit of the story. Not too much of it, but definitely some of it. So, Flavien already at 10 moons, but still has a ways to go. 22 moons left is a lot. It looks like we are seeing Showdown from Flavien. So, believe it or not, the optimal play for 32 Sand is to actually not do anything story-related, besides maybe atop the highest tower. So doing Showdown is definitely not what you would want to do, but, you know, I guess it's fine. It's definitely still relatively fast. I don't know, it's probably like a minute difference, if I had to guess, from an optimal Sand route for 32. And, I mean, Flavien did get a pretty quick IP clip, so can't really complain too much about that. So, yeah, Flavien's gonna grab this 8-bit, he's gonna grab the chest, he's gonna grab Statue's tail, and then he's gonna fight Harriet. And that will put Flavien at 17 moons. KVG getting slots, I'm not entirely sure why. I don't think he's going for 32, right? 32 forces Seaside. Why did KVG get slots? Oh, the life apart, I guess. Did he even get the heart? I guess he did. I mean, he must have. I don't know why else he would be in there. So, assuming he did get the life apart, he is at 3 unique life aparts. So he will need 3 more, but that shouldn't be anything to worry about, because he has been going for these at a pretty rapid pace. Hasn't forgot a single one yet. There's 8 in total up until Lost Kingdom, which is where he's probably going to end based off of what he's done so far. Flavien climbing the pyramid, going to be fighting Harriet. Facing Harriet will unlock 1 more moon in Night Sand, the Bullet Bill Breakthrough moon with the cage in Night Sand, so there is that. I don't think Flavien's been to that area yet, so that will give him, like, what, 4 more relatively quick moons? Because he'll have Leaning Pillar, he'll have Jaxie Chest, he'll have Inside Block as a hard place, and then he'll also have the Bullet Bill Breakthrough moon. So that would put him at 21. I mean, we could see Flavien do Sandpiece here. We could see Flavien do Sandpiece. Maybe. Unsure. Anyways, KVG marking off the 3 moons from 8 bits. That's pretty early considering how much he has left to do, but I guess considering he did the 16 Cascade, kinda makes sense. He was able to get both of the 8-bit moons in Cascade, plus this one, which, you know, again, puts him at 3, so... I don't agree with the decision to rush the 8-bits like that, but, I mean, if he has them, he has them. There's no reason not to mark it. Anyways, KVG gonna be making his way over to the moon shards in the sand. Because, again, he does need 6 moons for moon shards. And if he wants to finish before Metro, he will need to collect every single moon shard along the route. So that's 1 sand, 1 lake, 1 wooded, 1 lost, and then the 2 with the cat backtrack, which he already has to do anyway, so... This is a really weird moon shards. I can't say I agree with that, but, I mean, again, whatever works, right? Flavien hitting up the Oasis, getting 3 more moons. Well, it will be 3 once he gets, where the bird scatter and the cactus moon. So that'll put him at 20. So where has Flavien not been yet in Sam? I don't think he's been to the center of the ruins where the Bullet Bill Breakthrough moon is. And I don't think he's been to the sub-areas in the back of the Kingdom either. So that'll put him at, what, 28? Wait, where's he going? Legitimately confused where Flavien is going. Collecting these purple coins, I suppose. Again, I really hope we're not seeing a 225 here. That would be pretty devastating, because I don't even remember him collecting too many regionals. Actually taking the back way to get up here, so, that's cool, I guess. KVG actually doing the same thing. That's kind of funny. So, just doing some reverse Jaxie movement, just, you know, showing off the any percent knowledge. Just at night, that's the only difference. It's any percent, but at night. So, yeah, Flavien now at 23 moons, gonna get the Bullet Bill Cage moon. Does he know it exists? Okay, well, he now knows it exists. Probably gonna go back for it now. Yep. I guess he forgot that moon appears in Night Sand. Might as well get it, right? It's really fast. So that's 24. But Flavian still needs 8 more moons, and KVG's about done with Sand Kingdom. Although, I don't think KVG has collected too many regionals here, so that's definitely a little bit concerning. Only collecting 31, KVG has not entered any of these sub-areas. For those that are not aware, there are a ton of purple coins in the sub-areas of Sand Kingdom. There's 8 in the Jaxi Ruins one, there's 4 in the Moai, and there's 6 in the Bullet Bill, and then if you get Peace, there's 5 in the Rocket. So that's almost a quarter of all of the Sand regionals just walked away in sub-areas. 23 of them just walked away in sub-areas. So you should definitely consider hitting up some sub-areas if you want Sand regionals. So, it looks like KVG is... Wait, what is KVG doing? Oh, the checkpoint, okay. I was confused why he warped there, but I guess he forgot a checkpoint. So, KVG should be marking off that 6 checkpoints moon? Or the 6 checkpoints goal? Is he not going for row 5? Not going for row 5, just marking off the 7. Alright. So, man, KVG really is doing this BLTR with the 225. So, again, like I said, 12 moons lost is the earliest finish for KVG. However, I think in this particular case, just doing Doom the Picture match makes more sense. But, I don't know. We'll see, we'll see. There is 60 moons... Yeah, 60 moons wooded. 60 regionals wooded in row 3, so at least there's that synergy that he can work with for the 225. Also, he left Sand with only like 30-something regionals, so he's only at like 80-something. Gonna be doing his cap backtrack immediately. He needs to get 4 moons from sub-areas here. And he'll likely also pick up a timer, if he's smart. Because he does have 6 timers to do. And if he wants to be able to finish that early, he's gonna need every timer that doesn't include getting Peace. Flavian took another death. Kind of a yikes. Looks like he's at 26 moons? I think that's 26? 26 or 27. I can't fully tell, because, it's just really hard to tell sometimes when you're looking at a list of moons like that. I think it's 26. Besides the point, KVG is indeed collecting this timer challenge. Very smart, man. Yeah, gonna be collecting more regional coins? Yep. The ones in the boxes, not necessarily your fastest regional coins in the Cap Kingdom, but I mean, he needs 225, so he's gonna be gunning for whatever ones he wants, basically. Gonna be taking the Paragoomba way over yonder for this purple coin set, and then probably entering the Frog Pond. Said he's gonna be entering the Frog Pond. Alright, now he's entering the Frog Pond. Not exactly, the ideal routing to do there, but, I mean, he collected them, so I guess that's all that really matters. That's interesting. Not necessarily fast, but I never really thought to do that. Cannot get an up throw. That's unfortunate. I've never seen this room done the way KVG is doing it. This is, bizarre, to say the least. Flavian has 31 moons. He needs 1 more. Where's it gonna be? Ooh, almost dying. That was close. He needs 1 more moon. I'm trying to think what moon he hasn't gotten yet. Has he not done... I guess he's doing the Sphinx Quiz. But I was about to say, has he done Ice Cave Treasure yet? Because that's a pretty fast moon. that he probably should have considered. Oh man, dude. Flavian being in sand still at this point in the run is not great, because again, Flavian needs to go to Seaside. KVG does not. So that's like a huge difference here. I really do not suspect KVG to, you know, really mess up to the point where he's gonna lose this. Because, again, problem is, KVG does not need to go to Seaside. If KVG also had to go to Seaside, this would be pretty close, all things considered, but, you know, he just doesn't. And I don't think Flavian can pick 2 lines that will make up for the fact that he has to go to Seaside. Like, there's just no getting around that, I don't think. So it looks like KVG is leaving Cap, Flavian leaving Sand. Still not entirely sure what Flavian's third line is. Might be considering BLTR as well at this point. Although, I don't know how many timers he collected in Cascade. I think he collected 1? I mean, he could still make 6 work. It's not ideal, but he could definitely do it. I'm trying to think what other lines are even an option at this point, because he didn't do Moon Shards in the Sand, so we're probably not seeing Shards of any capacity. Also, I wouldn't want him to do Shards. Oh my god, he's really doing this 225. That's devastating, dude. Yeah, having to do the 225 and going all the way to Seaside is just no good. There's just not really much you could do about it, right? I really don't see how Flavian gets out of this unscathed. Because the unfortunate truth, again, is there's just too much kingdom progression to cover before KVG finishes. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So, at this point, the only thing to really hope for is that KVG forgets something, which causes him to lose a ton of time. But even with that in mind, it's still looking really bad for Flavian. Like, I still don't know what Flavian's third line is. Yeah, there just isn't enough in Flavian's favor to make this work. KVG getting yet another timer challenge. I think he's probably doing both here. I mean, he should do both here. It is 6 timers, so he does need to get them all if he doesn't want to do Peace in a Kingdom or go to Metro, so. Let's see. Yep, he also needs the Moon Shards, that's right. KVG not entirely sure what to do with that Cheap. Ended up just killing it. So, definitely a bit of confusion going on there. Flavian is collecting even more regional coins. Oh my goodness. If you're going to Seaside, you don't need to hit regionals as hard as you would if you're only going to Lost. Because there's more kingdoms that, you know, you need to progress through. But maybe Flavian is just not very comfortable with the later kingdom regionals, so that might suggest why he is doing as many regionals as he can in these early kingdoms. Man, I really do not agree going for the 225 when you have to go all the way to Seaside. It's just not good. It's not good, man. But yeah, I think at this point we're seeing row 4 BLTR and C3 from Flavian. Yeah, I just don't see how this works out for Flavian. Like, I feel like there might be small hope, again, if KVG just completely forgets stuff, but it's not looking too good. KVG is on pretty decent pace, too. He doesn't have too much to do in Wooded. Like, 60 regionals is not that bad. He does need to visit Deep Woods, and he will need to beat Spirit for the Moonshard Rocket, so I think he's looking at about an 8 or 9 minute Wooded. So he's definitely on pace to get like a mid-40 something time. Maybe like a 45 or a 46. It's looking pretty good for KVG. How many timers has Flavian done so far? Really good question that I'm not entirely sure of the answer. I think he's done 3. However, I don't have enough evidence to support that because I wasn't paying attention to what extra moons Flavian got in Cascade that were not his sub-areas. I think I saw him do 1, but he might have done both. If he did both, he's in okay shape. Again, Flavian just has so much ground to cover that KVG just doesn't. Like, they're basically entering Wooded at the same point, but Flavian has, like, 2 extra kingdoms to go through. It's just not looking favorable at this point. Like, even if we suggest that Flavian has significantly less stuff to do than KVG for the remainder of the run, KVG is still going to win out because he doesn't have to do the extra kingdoms. KVG dropping into the Deep Woods. Probably just gonna get, like, the tree, the timer, and leave. I don't really see him doing too much else here, gonna be honest. Like, he doesn't even need that many moons, so we're probably not even gonna see him do, like, the darker route, because there's just no reason to. Just get the tree and the timer and leave. He's actually capturing the rock. I guess he wants these purple coins. Not exactly the fastest purple coin set, but maybe he was like, okay, it's kind of on the route, I guess I'll get it. I mean, that's sometimes how you think in Bingo. You're just like, you see it, you do it, and that's really it. If you don't have too much, you know, planning within what you're doing, that's sometimes just what ends up happening. You grab it because you think you need it, and that's pretty much all you can say about it. So, nice nut clip from Flavian. Really clean any percent movement, too. Except he didn't quite get the out-of-bounds moon there. Oh no, he's falling into Deep Woods! I think he needs to go here anyway for his timer, but that's still devastating. Oh, dude, it was looking so good! Like, he had the really fast nut clip, he had the fast OOB, and I thought he got the moon, but he just didn't. He just barely didn't grab it. He got stuck underneath the rock wall, and now he's in the Deep Woods. Choosing to grow that vine, he's not collecting the timer. Wait, what is going on? I don't think he ever had intention to do BLTR then. So, I guess Flavian's third line has to be row 2. Like, what else is he going for then? That's really unfortunate, though, if that was his plan, because like, that just made things significantly harder for Flavian. Falling into Deep Woods at any point when you don't have to is just always a huge heartbreak to your run. Collecting even more purple coins. I'm trying to think How many purple coins does KVG have right now? I think KVG is at 120-something, leaving Lake. Which means that he plans to get a lot in loss. Wait, no, that can't be true. He collected like 25 in cap and at least 20 in Wake. So that would suggest KVG's at 130 leaving Wake. So that means KVG is likely going to need around 30 in the Lost Kingdom. Could be C4 if he's doing row 4. He is getting the Goomba moons. Oh yeah, that is true. I mean, Goomba picture matches a revisit, but then again, so is the 4 moons from sub-areas in row 2, so... Yeah, it could be row 4. Or, sorry, C4. It could definitely be C4. It's a good point. But even if it is, there just isn't enough room to recover on Flavien's end. Like, both KVG and Flavien are basically at the same point of the game, but again, Flavien needs to do extra kingdoms, KVG doesn't. So there really just is no getting around how this match is going to end. Like, the unfortunate reality is KVG picked a better line for Flavien to do than Flavien picked a better line for KVG to do. And that's exactly how I expected this match to go, because, as you can see, both of these runners have very similar skill level and their movement and bingo experience, so I really didn't expect anything less. God, I thought Flavien was dead there. I really thought Flavien was dead there. That was so close. So how many regionals and Wooded has KVG collected? We'll find out as soon as he grabs this moon. 29. So he still needs 31 before he can leave. So KVG is required to grab 60. Flavien is not. However, I would expect him to still grab a decent amount. He did grab 33. So that is a good bit. So Flavien probably leaving as soon as he's done with Spirit. Fighting Spirit at all is pretty peculiar, to be honest. KVG really struggling in the tower. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I think he wanted the regionals, but just didn't really know what movement he needed to do it. He also collected way too many moons, so he needs to do the Moonshard Rocket. But he already has 14 moons after beating Spirit. So there really is no reason that he should have this many moons. Like, literally none. So that's just the unfortunate, accident of, you grabbed too much stuff and you didn't really need it. It's the problem with playing that way in Bingo. If you don't plan, you end up grabbing stuff that you don't need, which then wastes time. And I am out of water. That's unfortunate. So, Flavien actually not leaving yet. It looks like he's collecting more. Oh, right, the Goomba moon. Forgot about the Goomba moon. Okay, that makes sense. He actually had to fight Spirit for the Goomba moon. That's right. I was a little bit confused why he fought Spirit at first, but yeah, this makes sense. Oh, he didn't grab all the Goombas. Flavien, what are you doing? So, yeah. KVG still needs 23 more regionals and the Moonshard Rocket, but again, I just don't see how this ends up being in Flavien's favor. Flavien is leaving Wooded before KVG, but there's just so much that he still needs to do. Like, even if he just any percents Metro and Seaside, Lost in Metro, and then gets the Seaside and gets the 25 regionals, I still don't see how this ends in his victory. There's just too much left to do. KVG is collecting yet another unique life apart. I think that's his 6th one. Unless if he forgot one. That should be 6. Yep. Because I was pretty certain I saw him grab the one in Lake. So, that should be 6. And here's the Moonshard Rocket. Again, Flavian is leaving Wooded before KVG. The problem is there's just too much to do. There is too much to do. Yeah, and we'll also have to do Goomba Picture Match, which is a revisit, so... Oh, man. It just be like that sometimes. KVG played pretty well. He didn't forget anything too major, and his routing has been overall decent. So, honestly, props to KVG. He hasn't really forgotten, too much stuff, and he's been playing pretty well. So, definitely a deserved W for sure. And he definitely picked a good line for Flavian to do. Which is a pretty big part of winning your anti-bingo match. I don't know why he captured that Sherm, though. That didn't make any sense. Probably an accident. Oh, never mind. He's gonna break this open. These regionals are not that fast, but, I mean, if you need regionals and you don't really know where to go, I guess these work. So, at 55, still needs a few more. And there it is. 62. So, if I've been counting KVG's regionals even somewhat correct, he will need about 30 regionals in the Lost Kingdom. It could be an error of like 3 or 4 coins, I don't know specifics. But he should need around 30 to 35 regionals in the Lost Kingdom. Flavian is also collecting regionals in the Lost Kingdom. Again, this just isn't looking good. There's too much ground to cover. And Flavian's still needing to collect stuff. And because Flavian still needs to collect stuff, the match is basically over. And there's pretty much nothing Flavian can do about it. Just the unfortunate truth. Because all KVG needs to do now is get 30 regionals in Lost, and the Moon Shard, and 11 other moons. So, like... Again, there's really nothing Flavian can do about it, and KVG will probably get like a 46. Oh, Flavian hit the checkpoint! Oh no. This is gonna end badly. I can just already tell this is gonna end really badly. Oh my god, he almost got collected. He almost got collected. He was like, maybe a pixel off from getting collected. If you go too far in that tree trunk, Klepto will catch you. Oh god. He should have gotten collected. I'm gonna be real here, chat. Alright, KVG has reached the final point of his journey. See how it goes. I mean, this is Lost Kingdom. Anything can happen, right? KVG can die like 20 times and Flavian can still somehow pull out a W, right? Right? Nah, this is pretty much game. There's basically nothing Flavian can do about it. Just too much ground to cover, man. That was a pretty clean regional setup from KVG. I might steal that. That was pretty good. That ensured he was able to collect all the regionals in that set without any issue, and it was a pretty fast setup, too. Flavien took another death! Oh my goodness. So, yeah, KVG just needs to pick up a few more moons, a few more regionals, and that will be game. Probably gonna get these 6 along the edge. No? Okay, never mind. Instead, gonna opt for these moons. Interesting, I suppose. I mean, all moons in Lost are pretty fast, so you really can't go too wrong with what you do here. So, 10 moons, 11 moons, and now he just needs the Moonshard moon. Flavien leaving Lost, but man, it's just too late. It's just too late. So, KVG apparently has 225 regionals with only 14 in Lost? Really? Wait, 18. Wait, really? I don't know about that. I think I want a regional check from KVG. Alright, so, yeah, the Shards Moon is, causing KVG a little bit of problems. I'm not sure if KVG is 225, gonna be honest. I really hope he checks his menus, because he might not have 225. Did he collect, like, 30-something in the lake? That's the only way I can see him having 225 right now. Because I know he got 50 in Cascade, he got 30-something in Sand, he got... Okay, we're seeing his regionals now. 18, okay, he had 27 in Lake. 38 in Cap? Okay, yeah, that's definitely 225. Bro, why did he get 38 in Cap? Alright, well, GG to KVG. Well played, well played. 38 in Cap. Why would you collect 38 regional coins in Cap? Oh my goodness, okay. I guess. I don't judge, man. It's 225 regionals no matter what, right? Goodness, man. So that is a done from KVG. And let's see if either of our runners want to come in for an interview. Flavien might be finishing his run. I mean, we do encourage our runners to finish, so... Let's see if I can find them in the list of people. Hello.
Oh, and is this working? Everything?
Hello. Yes.
Cool.
Alright, well, yeah, GG's both of you guys. Good race, good race.
GG.
Yeah, good race.
So, I definitely thought this was definitely just going to come down to who picked the more volatile line, and I think I was right, because both of you guys played pretty well with,
No, I
the
didn't.
respective lines that you chose. I mean, you don't have to be, modest about it. I mean, everyone makes a few mistakes.
Yeah.
But I think what ended up happening here is just the fact that KVG was able to finish and lost was just nailing the coffin from the very start of the race.
Yeah, I did find that surprising that you gave me a line that was... It was, like, bad for an early line, but, like, it was an early line that,
No, yeah, it was a pretty good line, all things considered, to work with on this card.
Yeah.
I was actually suggesting early on that you just ignored the 225 completely and just end in Gooba Picture Match.
Yeah, that would have been an option. Yeah, that wouldn't have been a bad shout. I don't know. I just saw the 225 and I didn't want to do it, but
I still think the 225 was okay here though, because you did at least have the 60 regionals wooded to work with, and you did basically collect every single regional coin in Cascade.
Yeah, I kind of had that opportunity anyway, considering it was 16 Cascade. I was just
right, exactly. 16 Cascade, 4 moons from sub areas. Like, that's basically a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
So, you basically had 110 built into your 225.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, that's definitely not too bad. So, I can definitely understand where you were coming from there. In terms of, like, the lines Flavien picked, I was definitely surprised to see you going for 225 with the, 32 sand seaside visit that you were already forced to do. That just feels like too much of a burden.
I can't find anything else, to be honest.
Right, so...
I'm pretty bad, so...
I mean, to be fair, it was definitely a difficult line to work with. I think early on I was talking about row 3 and C5 being your best options. Like, they aren't great, but when you look at the rest of the card, like, and the line that you're forced to do, it's definitely volatile to the point where you don't really have any other options.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird one, because you got just a lot of goals, like, in the way that kind of make each line a bit annoying. Like, there's no one line that stood out, I'd say, is, like, really good.
The other suggestion that I mentioned with your line early on was that you pick lines that allow you to just do set routes from other categories in mind, whether it's any percent or darker or whatnot.
Yeah.
Just so that way you wouldn't really have to think too much. Row 5 would have generally allowed you to do that for, like, wooded.
Yeah, true.
Nice. It is a Goomba picture match visit, but considering how much stuff you already had to do, I think at that point you kind of just maybe bite the Goomba picture match visit.
Yeah, I'm never a big fan of it, but now I'm looking at it, it definitely would have been better, because, like, that was really... It was kind of like a stressful one, just because, like, of how much I had to keep track of.
Right, absolutely. I mean, 225 regionals is never really a fun goal to work with.
And then there was that, and then, like, I had to make sure I was getting every shard, life ups.
I'm gonna be honest, KVG, when I saw how little regionals you collected in Lost, I was like, he has to be short, right? And then I didn't realize how many regionals you collected in Cap. 38.
I was a bit paranoid in Cap about it, so I think I just went overkill just to make the latter part of the run a bit nicer.
Yeah, for sure, and there's definitely no issue with doing that, and, I can definitely respect that decision, just getting it out of the way early on, so you don't really have to worry about it as much at the end. But, anyways, GG's to both of you guys. Unfortunately, you are out of the tournament, Flavien, but, definitely appreciate your participation, and we hope you participate in future bingo tournaments.
I think I'll stick to the friendly bingo. This is too much for me, kind of.
I mean, to be fair, this tournament is kind of an experiment. It's a mixed format, so it's definitely not for everyone. There's a lot of, changing formats, changing strategies, so the mixed format definitely is not for everyone, but this definitely allowed us to test the waters to see what we can do in the future. I definitely want to see an anti-tournament in the future, and I think people will definitely enjoy, like, a short lockout league.
I'd be totally down for anti-bingo. Like, I actually found this quite fun, because...
Yeah, for sure.
It's just a bit, like, weird when you have to like shoehorn, other lines with just like some really shitty lines. Because as practice, I just did a bingo board like where I just picked the worst line and tried to do a triple with it, and it was
No,
very...
yeah, for sure. It's definitely a bit of a twist on the, normal triple formula that works so well. And I'm kind of surprised how well Anti ended up working out with this game, because at first I was like, oh, the worst line is so obvious. But then, you have to think about, the other synergies and volatilities that are involved with the card, because there might be a worse line, but it might not be the worst line based off of the other lines given on the card.
Yeah, that's true.
It's definitely a lot more than meets the eye. So, this was definitely the surprise format for me personally that I ended up, generally enjoying a good bit.
It's way too hard for me because you have to multitask so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm really bad at multitasking. So
Yeah.
I prefer single or double maximum, not triple.
Yeah. And also the 1 minute time limit for picking the line might have been a little bit too difficult for a lot of people. I just generally took it as a sign that if you take too much time, then it becomes too obvious, and then it's not as fun.
Yeah, I accidentally went like 2 seconds over the limit the first time because I didn't realize, and I was just like really analyzing it way too much, and then second time I was just like, look, 32 sand and a seaside ending on the same column. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that's yeah, honestly this board was, pretty obvious. I was saying at first that it's not that obvious, but I feel like on this card it was a bit more obvious for sure. Because, C3 is really the only line that forces you to end really late with other stuff that makes your life pretty miserable.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, anyways, GG's to both of you guys.
GG.
Yeah, GG's.
Alright. And with that, I've been Awesome Agron. Thank you guys for watching. There will definitely be more bingo action throughout the upcoming weeks. We have the remainder of the loser bracket to go through, so we're working on it, but we'll get there sooner or later.
Really, but sure.
Pretty much every match from this point forward will be randomized format, so there's no set format in mind.
No.
Yeah, so pretty much every round moving forward is randomized for what format you're given. So it could be anti, could be short lockout, could just be normal triple. Just gotta wait and see. Alright, and with that, make sure you guys follow SpeedGaming, follow the runners, follow me if you want, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.